Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another great double take brought to you by Second Opinion Productions. Today we'll be reviewing Papo Yo for the PlayStation Network. Now let's go ahead and get right down into it. The story. Papo Yo is the story of a young boy, Quico, and his best friend, Monster. Monster is a huge beast with razor-sharp teeth, but doesn't scare Quico away from playing with him. With that being said, Monster does have a very dangerous problem, an addiction to poisonous frogs. The minute he sees one hopping by, he'll scarf it down and fly into a very violent rage, which will actually put Quico in danger. And yet at the same time, Quico still loves the monster and wants to save him. So the storyline is actually based off somewhat true events of what happened to the lead creator's family. His father was obviously had a little bit of an alcoholic problem and put his family in danger at some point in time. So what's great about this game is that it's it has a very big emotional drive to the game itself. It tells a tale of a boy named Quico that you feel a lot more than just it's a lot more than just another game. That it's not just another PlayStation Network game that you just want to sit there and play through and be like, okay, well, I got some trophies for that. You're actually really get emotionally attached to the characters because you're trying to figure out, why does Monster, have this addiction in the first place. But let's go ahead and get down to the gameplay. The gameplay is very very good. There's a few aspects of the game that you can actually do some pretty crazy stuff, but as you can see in the videos being shown right now, there's some types of gameplay that you can actually pick up these little cardboard boxes they have laying around, and whenever you pick those up, you can see right in front of you that the building is being lifted off the ground. So obviously this is a type of dream world that Quico is in at this time. And one of the big things is this girl that you meet. I can't give away too much of a spoiler for it because I know you guys want to play this game, but she becomes a very pivotal part of this game, helping you out, and you're pretty much trying to chase her whenever you first see her, because you're trying to figure out, hey, why is she running from me? So or that's what I was trying to figure out. So but back into gameplay, the mechanics are really great. The only problems that we saw on this title, there's a few gameplay lags and glitches that it kind of throws you off a little bit, but the hardest thing about the gameplay is getting used to the puzzle style of this game. There's a lot of times that you'll have stacks of houses that you actually have to manipulate the houses by an actual gear, and whenever you pull that gear out and turn it to the left, the houses actually bend down and out to the left so you can run up it. Sometimes it gets a little confusing, and sometimes I will say I did get a little aggravated because I kind of was just like, okay, what am I supposed to do next? There's no type of direction in the game that will help you do this, so you're really going to have to look for some of those little cogs that are drawn into the wall to turn. But gameplay-wise, the game overall on gameplay is pretty nice. There's a few, as I said, there's a few little lag issues here and there, and some gameplay mechanics that are kind of wonky. But for a PlayStation Network title, the game is pretty good. Let's get into graphics. The graphics are amazing in this game. The graphics and art scheme, breathtaking. There was a few times that I was watching the game, watching the cinematics, and I was seriously sitting back in my chair, just being like, man, this is a very beautiful PlayStation Network game. It's set in Brazil, or set in South America, and obviously the paintings that they have in the game, the bright and colorful environments that they have in the game really take take a toll on your eyes to where you're just kind of like mesmerized throughout the game. But the art scheme and graphics are wonderful. I guess we can talk about controls real quick. The control layout, sometimes it didn't really make sense to me. It's kind of classic, but I think there's a few things that, I feel that they could have done a little bit better on. As of, they could have made it a little bit easier to do some of the bendings of the houses. Whenever you stack these houses up at one point in the game, you actually have to bend them forward and to the left, or to the right, so you can get to other houses and add on to your stack. One of the things I feel they could have done there is maybe used the left analog stick and right analog stick. So, controlling the back and forth motion of the house, or of the stacked houses, you could have used the left analog stick, and then to move it around left to right, you could have used the right analog stick. But it's simple things like that. It's nothing overwhelming that I was just like, man, I can't even play this game. But it's a definite buy for me, guys. Really amazing game. And like I said, we have to give them big props at the team of Minority. They did an amazing job with this. This is one of their first titles to come out with, and it's I think one of the biggest things about it is that it's very beautiful, and it somewhat has like a very imaginative story that you'll be able to relate to in some aspects. Now, I will say this, and this is just my opinion. I feel like if a younger adult is playing this, or even a teenager is playing this, and they haven't had too many things that have gone on in their life, they might not really connect with the game as well. As me, and I actually talked about it on the podcast the other night. With me, I've had a few things happen in my life before, and it was a lot easier for me to connect with this character of having this fictional / true story type of thing going on, of his father being the monster and being a recovering alcoholic, or Quico trying to help his father, which his father is the monster. And you could see in some points of the game that they'll point to that. They'll have this very strange looking monster out there eating these rainforest frogs. And whenever he eats them, he just goes into a crazy rage. And I feel that there are a lot of the audience or consumer base out there that probably won't really be able to connect with this. I think it'll kind of confuse them at first of being like, well, what am I doing? I don't really understand what's going on. But so far, the amount of people that I've talked to about this game, with me beating it, it takes them a little bit longer, but I feel that over due time they get into the game a lot more. So we're going to go ahead and give this game an 8 out of 10. I do feel that the game is worth that score. The control schemes on the game, as I said, were a little wonky. There was a few glitches in the game, but I thoroughly enjoyed this game. It had a very good emotional touch to it. And just one of the biggest things is that it had that emotional driven storyline in it, that it wasn't just made up on a storyboard. It wasn't just say, hey, let's try to come up with a title that could somewhat be emotional, that's just built out of our brains. These were actual happenings with the lead creator's father, and big ups to you, man, for definitely stepping out on the line and trying to make a game that had your emotional life story, I guess. And you can even see at the beginning of the game, it says, this game is dedicated to my mother and sister for dealing with a monster that was my father. And I'm telling you, man, big ups to you for going out on that ledge and trying to tell people a story of what had happened in a very imaginative way. So, guys, this is the double take of Papo Yo, and as I said, we're giving it an 8 out of 10. Make sure to check back at secondopinionpod.com for some of the latest, greatest reviews and previews, gaming news, podcasts, and much more. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and have a good day.